Something crazy is happening. A legend that nobody expected is becoming the most picked legend in the game. And it all started a week ago when Ashe received another nerf. Now, I'm sure you've heard about this nerf, so let's quickly go over it. Basically, Respawn reduced the dash speed and distance by around 30% for Ashe. So now she's much slower in the air and easier to hit with bullets, and also she covers less ground. And after months upon months of nerfs to Ashe, this one is the one that finally knocked her down. After this recent nerf, her pick rate has nearly halved, and she is about to be taken over by a pretty unexpected legend. While over in the high levels of ranked, another unexpected legend has nearly triple the pick rate of Ashe, which is absolutely insane. But before we talk about the high level ranked pick rates and who is the meta in Apex, who's about to take over Ashe? Well, it's no other than Mad Maggie. While Ashe has seen a complete fall from grace, now sitting at a 10% pick rate, Maggie is seeing a gradual increase in her pick rate. It's going up every single day, while Ashe is going down. As of recording, this may change hour to hour, but Ashe is at a 10.2% pick rate, while Maggie is at a 9.5. So why is Maggie all of a sudden doing well? Well, in the most recent mid-season patch, Maggie did receive many buffs, which made her nice and powerful, and these definitely helped her climb. But also another aspect of Maggie's kit that's definitely helped her climb to be a runner-up to the #1 legend is the fact that this season, shotguns are pretty solid, and the Peacekeeper is a really fun pick. Even with its recent nerf, it still hits like a train, especially in wildcard, if you can pick up that speed buff wildcard. Currently, Maggie is just complementing the weapon meta, as well as the fact that she recently got an upgrade that allows the shotgun passive to go onto pistols and SMGs. So, depending on your upgrades, you might be able to go full sprint speed with the Akimbo P20s. Additionally, from her recent buffs, Maggie's riot drill feels pretty solid and pretty fast. It feels like you can actually use it in an intense moment in a fight, and some buffs to her wrecking ball made it a bit more reliable. But honestly, it still feels very unreliable. But to be fair, if Maggie's wrecking ball was more predictable, she would probably be the most powerful legend in the game. Because now, all of the pads dropped by Maggie's wrecking ball do give her a 15% reduction in incoming damage, so it's a perfect tool to push your enemies. Additionally, after Ashe's nerfs, people are craving movement still, so a lot of players have moved back to Sparrow, as he has seen a bit of a climb in his pick rate, and it's mostly because he is a very fun legend to play, and also his recon abilities can be very powerful if you're a good player. He did receive some nerfs recently to his ultimate, but he's still fairly well rounded, and he is closely followed by Pathfinder and then Revenant. Revenant is an interesting character though, because believe it or not, he has the highest pick rate right now in the game for higher level ranked. As over on the Apex status pick rate website, if we go over and look at Master and Predator pick rates, Revenant has a 17.4% pick rate, which is absolutely insane. And he is followed by Maggie with an 11.2% pick rate, which is a pretty big feat, and he is well in the lead of being a desirable legend, while Ashe is over at a 6.9% pick rate. She was already lowly picked for ranked, but now she is dropping off badly. I think the biggest knock in high level ranked for Ashe was when Respawn nerfed her ultimate. So over in ranked, and even lower levels of ranked, why is Revenant randomly dominating? Because a lot of people aren't aware of this world as they don't play ranked. Well, judging by what a lot of people are saying, Revenant is kind of the perfect counter to Apex's base gameplay. If you're not aware, a few seasons ago, Respawn drastically lowered the time to kill in the game, which is basically the average time it takes to kill an enemy. They removed the red shield and made the purple shield the highest level, and also increased the damage of every single gun in the game, so if you laser somebody now, it takes a way shorter amount of time to kill than it did last year. And this change to the base gameplay of Apex definitely put Revenant in a bit of a better position, as his ultimate literally gives him more health out of nowhere. And now, because of the time to kill change, the engagements in the game are a lot faster, and if you see somebody you can kill them way quicker, having that tiny bit of extra health does give Revenant a lot of utility, especially in ranked where he can kind of become the tank or even the entry fragger for the team. For example, Revenant could get a knock on an enemy and pounce onto the other two while his two teammates follow him behind. He is definitely still an amazing tool in ranked. He's definitely not what he used to be. There used to be a meta a year or so ago where Revenants and Conduits would team up and basically turn Revenant into a raid boss, as enemies would shoot through his ultimate shield and then his actual shield, and then Conduit would fill his actual shield back up, giving him an insane amount of health. And on my research, a lot of people do say they play Revenant because it allows them to rely a lot less on their teammates and get those entry kills in ranked battles. Also, we can't forget Revenant did recently get a few buffs to his kit, notably being moved to Assault. So even though Revenant is a bit of a big character and he's definitely easier to hit than other characters, he does have a bit of extra speed in a few aspects of his kit, and his jump is way faster now. You can definitely see how he is definitely a great pick in ranked. And surprisingly enough, in higher level ranked, Pathfinder has the third highest pick rate, which is pretty impressive. He isn't the best legend anymore, but still, ranked players absolutely love him. And of course, due to her recent buffs where she can counter Caustics and Watsons, Bangalore is still pretty high up there. Honestly, day to day, the pick rates for Apex look a lot healthier, and Respawn are giving good use to some of the legends, although there are still a few legends that are completely useless in the eyes of a lot of players. Catalyst is sitting at a 0.4% pick rate, and a lot of people are requesting she gets a rework in the future, and Octane, a legend who used to be really popular, is at a 3% pick rate, although there have been a few hints that he is going to be getting a bit of a rework soon. Surprisingly enough, one of the recent legends who got a pretty decent buff has fallen off a lot. Seer, despite having a really high pick rate only a few weeks ago, has dropped down to a 1.7% pick rate. And even the other day, Respawn pushed a small update where they removed his ADS hover, which annoyed a few people, but also a few more people were happy with this decision. It seems due to the nature of like Seer's base kit, Respawn really struggled to get him right without having him becoming too powerful. Honestly though, at this point, despite not having an amazing pick rate, he is still a pretty solid legend. Another legend who's been pretty powerful lately but has seen a bit of a fall off is Alter. A lot of players saw her nerf the other day and literally did the Toy Story thing of, I don't want to play with you anymore. And she has dropped off massively, and even in ranked, she went from an essential legend on a team to barely holding on to staying in the top 10. And I'm pretty sure she's going to fall off out of that top 10 very, very soon. Honestly, the legend meta of Apex lately has been really interesting, and it's great that Respawn are giving the legends constant buffs. And I think their recent system of fast patching, where they can push a patch to the game within a day of finishing it, has definitely changed how the legend meta works in Apex. If a legend is overpowered, it doesn't stay overpowered for long. Same with weapons. It used to feel like we only got two major updates a season, the season release and the mid-season update, and that's where Respawn would release all of their balance changes. But now we get them in between both of these major updates, and the game feels a lot more responsive to the community's feedback. But do you think Ashe should be brought back a bit into the limelight? Honestly, I really hope they reduce her dash cooldown by a bit, now it is a bit more useless, and subscribe to keep updated with the weird legend changes I'm sure are coming in the future.